Alright, welcome to the solar system series known as Awareness, where I'm going to inform you and show you exactly how you can see the ideology behind why we call this organization solar systems. So, let's get started. Now, in our external solar system and galaxy and entire universe, this ecliptic is started with the 12 astrological house systems, and the way this house system was created by God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, pretty much just looked in 12 different directions and created the overarching experiences that we engage with in our lives today. So, let me break it down to you in the form of I statements so you can start getting a basic understanding of these 12 astrological houses themselves. Okay? So let's get started. We have the first house starting with I am, moving all the way to I have, I think, I feel, I will, I analyze, I balance, I desire, I see, I use, I know, and I believe. You know, I believe. Where is it? Right here. Pisces. I believe. That's exactly how that 360 happened. Just looked in the 12 different directions and broke down all of these astrological houses in one single glance. It wasn't 7 days that the universe was created, it was 12 different days, breaking down the 12 different astrological houses, right? But that's breaking down all that, and what that means is a whole nother video. Right now we're going to be talking about how you can categorize these 12 different external chakra systems and how you can see it in your body. So let's get started. First house, we have what's known as the crown chakra, where your forehead and flat part of your head gets to the domey part, and all around here and above here, just in this area. This is the area, location, space in your own solar system where you emit the light of what you want to experience. This is the light representation, the rainbow waters out of your own mind that you are just expressing of how you feel, okay? And then moving on down, you come to the I have. Once you emit this light out into this realm, you receive the light in that this entire world is emitting for you. And basically, what your moon, your third eye, your second house, your first eye, whatever you want to call it, the top of the triangle, when people go like this, they're just trying to get you to know that you have to use your third eye and look through this. It's not the, all mocking tongue and all that shit. This is your mind, your Merkaba, your moon. This is where you use your real eye. That's why they call it real eyes. This is why they have the statement, real eyes, real eyes. Once you actually get into this area of life, this second house area of your body, this is where you find out your value systems. This is where you focus on what you want. This is where you actually engage your mind. It's not where you break down and intellectualize what you're receiving. It's just where you refine the light that was emitted onto you. So moving down a little further, we get down here and below. So this third house area basically goes kind of like from here all the way down to like under your armpits, right above your heart. That's where the base break line happens. So this area of your body is where you do the basic communication, you gain the basic details, and you just do little simple shit like, get me that pizza, more, more, little simple communications. This is where you also have your thinking brain, the lower part of your brain, where you intellectualize everything that, you got the light you emit, the freaking receiving part of it, and the reflection part of it, and then you reflect it downwards and utilize your tools, where you basically break all of this shit down and experience it for yourself. We have, once you thought and communicated and got the basic details using this part of your body, you basically bring it down into your heart, and you're just like, how do I feel about this? Like, how do I reflect on this? How is my emotional stance on this? How do I feel about this? This fourth house area of your body is where you're supposed to feel comfortable. This is why when you really focus on your heart part of your body, which you can categorize as, you got your real heart on your left, your energetic heart in the middle, and the cave of your heart, where you can rest, relax, and disengage from all of these aspects of life and just detach and just let it take care of itself and be in its natural alignment that it is. This area of your body is where it takes care of all of that. This is home, is where the heart is, Any place where you feel that warm, wishy-gushy feeling, you're just like, I'm comfortable, no one's judging me, I'm just chilling, I can just be. Home is where the heart is. Fourth house area of your body. If you feel that little indent on top of like the most bottom rib cage, is basically from there up all the way to your armpits. This is about that area of the solar system. Eventually I'm going to start standing up and actually showing you where this is. So once we move down a little bit, where people would kind of categorize it is like the apex before they get to like under your muffin top where your V line is. I'm getting a little lower chakras. Oh, I'm gonna have fun once we get to there. But yeah, so moving on up, we basically have our solar plexus. which is where our own creativity lies and where we emit and express all of this light. You know, when you're born, you don't come out standing up. You come out like laying down where your freaking light is all the way up here, you know, right here. That's basically how this light, where your creativity is, this is where your energy is processed. This is where you just like, you know, you gain that will and you just actually go for it and just do it. You just express. This is the sun's house, your solar plexus. This is where your stomach lies. This is where you, like I said, you process all that energy and then you move it down so it can be analyzed, basically. And your analyze is the sixth house area of the body, where you go through the work process of actually, like I said, processing out all of these situations, energy you intook, all of that stuff. And you make work out of it. You go through all your intestine systems, extract the nutrients. You just break all this stuff down. This is that area of the body where you can experience the sixth house situations. Now, as I just broke down the physical aspect of it, the energetic version of how this works is a whole nother story, and that kind of works with your own house system and where your planets are actually placed. But like I said, that's another video. Shouts out to Dolo for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start saying that shit. But anyways, moving down a little bit, you know, after you sort of get to like the belly button and below, this is the seventh house area of the body. Like belly button to like the top of the hips, not the base of the hips, because once you get to the base of the hips, that's the eighth house where you go deep in your desires. You get down and dirty with it. Oh, you go for it after that area. But to get there, you have to go through your seventh house area of life. And the seventh house area of life, may have seen in other videos, this is the relationship house. The relationship house you can experience visibly when you're in the club, when you're at a party, you know, when you got a girl, you're dancing, and, you know, the modern age, you know, we get the grinding going on, you know, with some bounce music playing, they really get you start moving with it, you know what I'm saying? But where's that point that you're actually moving at? You know, when you're all up on it, you got the hips. It's in the top part of the hips. That's where you move and relate that. And the intention to doing this is when you're moving down and trying to get to the eighth house, where you get deep, dark into the desires. Now, what is actually placed in this area? It's where you're trying to get your and her no. You know what I'm saying, man? This is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get jiggy with it. But yeah, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just do a quick rundown so I can get to this meditation aspect where you can actually realize this own awareness for yourself and actually feel these areas of your body for yourself. Bear with me, we're going to get to it. So, moving on down, we have your thighs. This is the ninth house area of your body. You know, this is where you move, you run, you jump, you just experience new spaces. Like here, if I actually stand up and go, woo, I experienced a new space than I was sitting down. When I'm sitting down, what do I see? I see this freaking camera. I see me playing with my whole like astrological like ecliptic tapestry behind me, and I can be like, oh, you know, maybe it would be better if I went from this viewpoint, and I readjust. If I actually want to do that, I have to use my thigh muscles to get to that new space. This is how you actually physically plays out. Now, moving down, we have the 10th house, right? The 10th house gets a little freaky, because the way it plays out is you don't get on your knees just for no reason. Think about it this way. When the queen is benighting somebody, that motherfucker that's getting knighted has to get on their knees and be like, they're all serious, they're focusing on their attention, they're focusing on the new structure that they're about to receive from this queen, and she's going, and they're getting benighted. Ooh, I actually have a sword for this. I forgot about this. But yeah, when a queen's freaking benighting somebody, or they're getting knighted, I don't know why I said benighted, they're just getting knighted. They're going like, you will become a king of the Queen of England and fight for her honor till the end of eternity. Now you are a knight. I don't know if that was 9 times, it didn't actually count, but I tried to implement the 3, 6, 9. Anyways, point being is that the knees is the 10th house area where this actually plays out in your physical body. You have to remember, you are a reflection of the universe, and it plays out through you as you play out through it. This is why there is the as above, so below. You have higher chakras, there are lower chakras. So does the being we live in. That's the whole point of why we reflect it, and how we may not take the actual shape and form of the being we live in, but we reflect the energy of it quite precisely. And like I said, you have your own solar system as well. You are still your own individual being, but the whole point behind this is that you are a reflection of it, but you need to take its governmental system of how freaking reality works and apply it for yourself so that you can work towards it and ascend through your own way of doing it and literally get your place amongst the stars. You have to become a star to get your place amongst the stars. This is how it works. If you're wondering how you work through this process, you look at what we actually call people stars. These people, without any regard for how you feel about it, are being themselves to the highest way they know how. I'm working with you to help get the technical aspect of how this works, but oh yeah, before I get on this tangent, let me keep going. But yeah, so like I said, the 10th house is the knees. This is the part where you actually get on your knees to be structured, stable, to perform whatever you need to perform. Whether that be a certain type of act, whether that be a prayer, whether that be you actually getting knighted, this is a 10th house situation and where it plays out. Now the 10th house connects you to the 11th house. Your 11th house situations is your shins. This area of life connects you to the 12th house, and it'll make a lot more sense when I explain that. But basically, your shins are what you stand on to be your own person. This house is tied to Aquarius. Aquarius is fixed air, being fixated on your own way of thinking and communication. To be your own individual in your own dream, you need to connect down to your feet, which is basically the 12th house. The 12th house is dreams, illusions, the subconscious mind, your individual connection to the collective conscious, which what we all input into the overarching conscious arena that we float through as spirits, where we just emit our own feelings on the subject. And in the 12th house, this is our grounding into this dream that we all collectively exist in our own separate space and co-create in. Now, why I explained that before the freaking shins is because it makes a little more sense. When you are grounded in this collective space, you need to have your own individual viewpoint and your own fixated thoughts on how you maneuver through this space and how you want to be seen in the public arena from a grand perspective. Now, why this connects to the 10th house, the status part, is you have to have your own individual thought connected with the dream you're in order to be a person and move about as an individual and actually be an individual space. Moving back up, for the 10th house, this is your status, this is the knees, this is where you create your own structure from the lower chakras under that and to properly move through this collective space as an individual, right? This is how you will be known, and how you will be known comes from the dreams, your illusions, how you want to interact with this realm. It comes from your own fixated thoughts, and then once you can really cement your own fixated thoughts, this is how you're known in this world. Moving on up, we have the 9th house area, which is the thighs. The thighs are your, like I said, this is how you actually move physically through this space and gain a new perspective. Your 8th house, this is where you dive deep into your desires, and your physical desires are in your crotch area, so I gotta tell you how that plays out. And then your 7th house is the hips. This is where you move around and actually connect with people. Usually in hopes to get down to the 8th house, if you know what I mean, but such is life. Move on up to the freaking intestine, the 6th house area, which is above the top of your hips and kind of goes up to your, like your navel area. And then this is where you analyze all the energy you intook and processed for the purpose of getting what you need. You have to go through the work process of gaining all the details to actually function as a person. You need your nutrients, you need your minerals, you need your water, and you need to process out the quote-unquote toxins and crap that you don't want. You can get around this by programming what you intake for the proper spirits of what you want to experience, which will basically save all the digestion from a spiritual perspective. And then we can move up into our solar plexus, which is the 5th house area of the space. This is around the stomach area. Like I said, it's kind of in the middle of your abs, but under like the bottom of the rib cage. And this is where you process all the energy that you just either intake or you express it. It's just energy. You just express. And then moving on up, we have the heart space, which is basically the chest area under the armpits, because the arms are an extension of the 3rd house. And this is where home is, where the heart is. This is where you feel comfortable. This is where you can just sit and just beat to your own drum, you know? You have the physical heart on the left, the energetic heart in the middle, and the cave of the heart, where you can rest, relax, do whatever you want to do, and just detach and let your alignments work the way they do. Moving on up, we have the throat chakra, which is the 3rd house. This 3rd house is where you handle all the basic details, communication. Like I said, this is where sign language come from, so if you just want more and you just need to do simple, you just go more, you know what I'm saying? And then you move on up, you have your moon, your Merkaba, your 3rd eye, your 1st eye, however you want to put it. You know, there's many points to the triangle, but this is where it is. Remember your 3rd eye. Binoculars. And this is basically where you reflect upon the light that you went through, and you can refine this light to whichever you want to experience and react and respond how you wish. And then moving on up, we're back at the crown chakra. The crown chakra is where we emit the light of what we actually want to experience. We just be. When you're meditating, you're just being. You're not freaking receiving, you're not using any of this. You are just vibrating at the highest capability possible and emitting the light of what you want to experience. Remember, it's always what you want to experience. Don't get it twisted from anyone else, okay? Anyways, this is that house breakdown of how your solar system physically plays out in your body. Yeah, solar systems, man. Peace.